Once upon a time, in the land of Canaan, there lived a young man named Joseph, the 11th son of Jacob. Joseph was deeply loved by his father, who gave him a special coat of many colors, a gift that made his brothers jealous. They hated Joseph because their father favored him over them, and this jealousy soon turned to bitterness.
It's always Joseph, Joseph, Joseph. What about us?
One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers, who were tending the flocks in the fields. As Joseph approached, his brothers saw him from a distance and, filled with anger, plotted to kill him. But Reuben, the eldest brother, persuaded them not to harm Joseph. Instead, they stripped him of his colorful coat and threw him into an empty pit, planning to leave him there. But as they sat down to eat, they saw a caravan of traders coming from Gilead on their way to Egypt. Judah, one of the brothers, suggested they sell Joseph to the traders instead of leaving him to die. The brothers agreed, and they sold Joseph for 20 pieces of silver. The traders took Joseph to Egypt, and the brothers returned home, telling their father Jacob that Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. Jacob mourned his son, believing the lie his sons had told him.
Not Joseph!
Meanwhile, in Egypt, Joseph was sold as a slave to a man named Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard. But God was with Joseph, and he prospered in Potiphar's house, gaining favor and trust. However, Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of a crime,
You pay for Telemino!
and he was thrown into prison. Despite this injustice, God continued to be with Joseph, and soon he gained favor with the prison warden. One day, 2 of Pharaoh's servants were imprisoned, and Joseph interpreted their dreams, predicting one would be restored to his position and the other would be executed. Just as Joseph had foretold, the interpretations came true. Yet, even after this, Joseph was forgotten in prison for 2 more years. Finally, Pharaoh had a troubling dream that none of his magicians could interpret. The butler, who had been restored to his position, remembered Joseph and told Pharaoh. Joseph was summoned, and with God's help, he interpreted Pharaoh's dream, predicting 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine. Impressed by Joseph's wisdom, Pharaoh appointed him as second in command over all of Egypt. Years later, during the famine, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt to buy food, not recognizing Joseph. But Joseph, knowing them, tested their hearts and eventually revealed himself to them. Overwhelmed with emotion, Joseph forgave his brothers and invited them and their families to live in Egypt, where they would be cared for during the famine. Through all the hardship, Joseph's faith in God remained strong, and God used him to save many lives, including his own families. Joseph forgave his brothers, understanding that what they had meant for harm, God had used for good.